Okay, so today we're going to talk about custom software platforms. As you know, at Optimum 7, we hear this from a lot of different prospects as well as clients. There are a few different types of platforms that people request. Number one is they want to increase their current operational efficiencies. Let's say, and let's just give a quick example. Let's say I have 5 different websites, and these are all e-commerce websites, and I get orders from these 5 different websites. But I don't want my team to log into 5 different sites to process orders because I have only one warehouse. So it becomes a nightmare, and they say, well, John and Michael are logging into website A, and Sue and Suzanne is logging into website B, and I want them to log into one admin. So when we get a business problem like this, there are a couple of things we can do. We listen and we identify what the problem is, right? Once we identify the problem, we say, okay, this solution, would this work for you? So we have to consult through that phase. That's the first type of software development that we do custom. The second type is somebody wants to build a business out of a platform and they have a specific concept. And the third one is really in between, where somebody has a business, they have operational problems, but they're thinking a new platform might be able to solve their issues. So these 3 different types. I think what we want to cover today is, if you think that you need to improve your processes through software or through automation or integration, what path would you choose? So let's start with a reverse angle. Let's talk about, because that's usually most of the time what customers and users want to hear. What are some issues that we have, maybe top 3 or top 5 issues that somebody comes to us and it's messed up, it's all over the place? How can you organize, when you have 50, 60, 70 employees, a business problem, and how can you move it towards a path of, okay, this is the technical or the software solution that we need? What are the top 3 to 5 issues we hear from clients?
Yeah, one of the most common on the e-commerce industry is what you mentioned. So one company having like multiple websites, you have a lot of issues when it comes to inventory, when it comes to keeping together all the shipping rules, you know, for those 3 different sites. Sometimes they have a wholesaler and retail sites, you know, how to manage all that from just one platform. You know, there's a lot of platforms for e-commerce out there, but none of them has like, you know, doesn't cover 100% every business. So that's when it comes like, everyone has something special that they need to do that the platform doesn't cover, and that's what we bring the custom solution.
And we get that a lot though, and there are so many different paths and so many different issues that we deal with. I mean, it's so complex. You might have an e-commerce platform, you're selling on Amazon, Jet, Walmart, you might have multiple warehouses, you might stock some products, and you might be drop shipping some products. Like, it's a mess, right? It's so much stuff for you to be able to compete with giants like Amazon and Wayfair and Overstock. So the first thing, I guess, is how can I organize that thought process? What's the next step? Let's say I already identified what my problems are. What's the next step? What's the next thing you do?
Usually what we do is like we get a scope of work. Like, what
if they don't have a scope,
okay,
what's the first thing that you can do?
So I would say step 1 is, once you determine the problem, right? Think about what you feel could resolve that problem. What would simplify your workflow? What would automate your workflow? What would, make your workflow more efficient? And then I think once you have an idea of the tool that you're looking for that will solve that problem, it'll help you go ahead and put together that list of that scope of work, that statement of work that you need to put together to present to, your software developer.
And the challenge here is that probably 50-60% of the time when we hear these requests from prospects or clients, they don't even know what statement of work needs to be. So even, if you are not able to do that, what we would suggest that you do is talk to somebody who might be able to help you. Talk to a consultant. It doesn't necessarily have to be a consultant, but you have to speak to somebody who is technical, who will understand the business problem that you're going through. And for that, he needs to be able to know the platform, your operational workflows, etc., and then who can guide you through that process. Because, let's get real about it. Most business owners are not technical. They don't know what they have to do. If I'm talking to a chief operations officer, the guy doesn't know the technical details. And another challenge is sometimes we talk to even CTOs or technical people, and they know the technical side of it, but they don't know the operational or business side of it. So, as Joe stated, yes, write it down, but if you cannot really write it down, or if you don't know what to write down, find somebody who you trust, who can guide you through the whole process, and take it to a point where it's a planned execution.